Do you ever want to read just all the books and then you can't because there isn't enough time in the day and you just feel sad about it, and then you try and make a TBR and then it's really long but you have to cut it down because you're trying to be realistic, and oh boy, it's been a month. Hi everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. If you are wondering what is on my snazzy snood, this is actually a section of text from Wuthering Heights because I'm a nerd like that. So I am back doing TBRs now, and I normally really enjoy doing TBR videos, but I haven't had a great May reading month in terms of reading books off my TBR. I've read lots of audiobooks and that's been fun, but having bought books for my birthday, my TBR, this is the first time, is not less than it was a month before. So I want to try and read lots of books, but again, be realistic. So I've kept it under 10. Very proud of myself. The first book I don't currently have with me because my dad has borrowed it, but he's coming to stay. My parents are coming to stay. I haven't seen them in flipping ages. I'm so excited. In the first week of June, and he's going to bring back my books that he's borrowed, including that one, and it's the longest book on my TBR, so I'm a little bit intimidated. But I finally read Bring Out the Bodies after owning it since 2012 when it first came out. Shame. But I've owned The Mirror and the Light since last March, so I don't feel too bad about that one, and I would just like to read it because I feel like otherwise it will be like Bring Out the Bodies and I'll never flipping get to it. So I'm either going to try and read a set amount of pages per day, but Hilary Mantel normally is very engrossing, so I'm hoping I'll just read it pretty solidly and finish it in a couple of weeks, but we'll see. That's my biggest reading goal, because it will be cool to read my longest book. And then, different tack, we have my John Clare collection of poetry, which is nature poetry, because right now, like, I've been a bit anxious lately. Nature poetry is very soothing for me. So I'm excited to read this, especially as I've only read probably about 5 poems by him before. So, gonna read that. Then, slightly depressing book, but I have heard, surprisingly funny, this is One Day in the Life of Ivan the Nistovitch by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Look at me trying to do Russian accent like I know how to pronounce this properly. I don't, but it is literally what it says, one day in the life of someone who was in a gulag, which is a Russian labour camp or prison, and I think it is going to be potentially bleak. But I really haven't been told it's funny in places, and that is just a great read, and I want to read more Russian literature beyond Tolstoy, that kind of thing. So that will be nice, and also a short one. Try and get some short ones in there alongside the monster that is Mantel. So my short story collection of the month, I'm still trying to read a short story collection a month, a non-fiction book a month, and then 1 or 3 books that I pick out for my TBR mug a month. So this is my short story collection, which is French decadent tales, various authors obviously. Bought this 2019 in September on Barry in Shakespeare & Cove, and I think I put this on my TBR before, I'm not sure, but I haven't read any of the 3 books that I bought there. I feel very bad about this, so I'm rectifying this, hopefully, by reading this. I don't know any of the authors in here, so it'll all be new and exciting to me. Then a book that I think I bought last year in July, so if I read it this month, then I will make my reading a book within a year target. So this is Blonde Roots by Bernardine Evaristo. I loved Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. It's one of my favourite books of all time probably, and then I've also read Mr. Loveman, which was also fantastic, another 5-star read. So this is, I think, an inversion of slavery where white people are slaves, and I think that just sounds really clever, and I'm pretty much sold if it's her writing, and it's just nice to go into her backlist as well, and I definitely want to read all of her novels eventually. Then a book that is on the Women's Prize shortlist, and it's a library copy, so apologies for the shine. This is No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood, and I think this is a bit of a weird novel. It's a lot about being on the internet, but it's in this very short kind of vignettes almost, and I don't know if I'll find it a bit too abstract or if it will have a quite coherent flow and narrative. I just don't know really what I'm getting myself in for, but I know it's about a woman on the internet, and it sounds very modern and relevant in that way at least. And again, it's short, so if I don't like it, I will push myself to read this. But this is due back in the library on 1st July, and I would really like to return it before then, because there are reserves, and I hate it when I'm waiting for a book and I have to reserve it, so I don't want to delay other people potentially having to wait. My non-fiction book of the month is The Lies of Lee Miller by Angie Penrose, which is another of my birthday books I recently got, and to be honest, this is kind of a cheat because I already have quite a few books I want to read, and they're in the light. I chose a short one compared to what I was going to pick, because this has pictures inside, so it's not all text, and I just think I'm going to love this. I'm pretty sure it'll be a 5-star read for me. Woo, exciting. And then I have another birthday book. So this is part of the 3 that I picked out. So I picked out The Faces by Solzhenitsyn. I picked out The Age of Light by Whitney Schwerer, which actually would be quite nice to read because that is about Lee Villa. Or the poetry collection American Sonnets for My Past and My Future Assassin by Terence Hayes. So I've got to read one of these books. I have a feeling I'll definitely read this because it's short and I've had it a little while. It's one that I got, I think, from Jane Campbell when she was getting rid of some poetry collections, and it's kind of what it says. It's a collection of sonnets, but I think it's about race, and it's not Shakespeare, put it that way, but it sounds quite easy to read, and I'm enjoying reading poetry a lot at the moment. This book is depressing. It's about a woman who is a writer and a mother and is seeing dismembered bodies and faces and is kind of on the verge of insanity and marriage breakdown, it sounds like. But I love her writing, and again, it's short. But in this book, I also just think it'll be a lot of time for you to read it. So I want to read all these books, but I just think I'm going to read all 3. So I think this is the most likely, if not this one. But I'm going to have a go. I just think I'm going to love this too. So many books. And then, last but not least, I want to read, hopefully better read with Katie from Books and Things, Transcendent Kingdom by Yar Gessé, which is another shortlisted book. I wanted to put I always forget the name of it, The Vanishing Half. I don't know why. I want to call it like The Other Sister or something. It's not called that. By Britt Bennett, but I just knew that wasn't realistic, and 2 books from the Women's Prize shortlist is enough to be going on with, really. So that's what I want to read. This is about Gifty, who comes from immigrant parents and lives in Alabama. She's doing STEM research. I think it's a lot about how you deal with trauma in the family, how that affects you, and how you try and control uncontrollable events and that kind of thing, and science versus religion, and just so many other things. I'm so excited to read this, and I just think it's a really good TBR actually this month, and hopefully I'll do better than I did if I made one. I'm actually quite glad I didn't make a May TBR because it would have been very embarrassing, I think. But what do you want to read this month? Are these books ones that you've read or are interested in reading as well? Talk to me in the comments. I promise I'll get better at replying, because I do like people commenting, and I like to interact. Community, yay, we love that. Shizzle. Okay, I will see you soon for Bookish Shenanigans. Bye!